Mr. Robinson here back again for another day of the Mr. Robinson lecture series for you guys in my civics and economics class. So, hey, I'm here at the school. Hey, it's a work day for me. All right, so I'm gonna take you guys through. We already looked at the criminal and juvenile court procedures. All right, now today is the civil court procedure. Okay, so with all this, there's some assignments that I'm gonna have you do. I've already put two on for the week. Some of you did them, some of you didn't. All right, if I were you, I'd be doing them. But they were one was the case about a criminal court case where you have to make up your own criminal court case. The other one was the graphic organizer with John Marshall's Supreme Court decisions. There are three of those that I may give you guys a lecture on that tomorrow. All right, today is the third assignment I'm putting up on IQ for you guys to do, and it's about a civil court case. All right, so let's go ahead and get at it. I this should be pretty brief. All right, put this PowerPoint on Haiku so you guys can see and also view the video. Okay, that's why I'm doing these to help you guys out. So civil court procedures. Let me get. Boom, there it is. So it starts with a complaint. Remember, a civil court procedure, all right, is a person-to-person case. All right, the state is not involved with that. So you have a complaint at a civil court procedure, and civil court procedures also involve money. That's a big difference between a civil court case and a criminal court case. Also, jail time is not included with that, or prison time. All right. So first, there's a complaint. That means the plaintiff, that's the person suing, is the one making a complaint. All right. I don't know if you guys watch the show Judge Judy. I grew up. My mother would watch that show all the time, and I'd sit there and I'd have to watch it with her. But that's those are civil court cases. They're typically being sued over money. All right, and you have a plaintiff who is the one who's suing them. Now, on the other side is there's a defendant, person being sued. All right, plaintiff, defendant. The state is not involved in this. Another difference from a criminal court procedure. All right, the plaintiff goes to court and files the case. So a summons is issued. A summons is basically something that makes the defendant, lets them know that, hey, you have to appear in court because somebody is suing you. Summons, so it's sent to the defendant. All right, tells him when and where and what he is being sued for. So you need to be at court on this such and such date because of this reason. This is why the plaintiff is suing you. A lot of these Judge Judy cases, if you watch them, they involve renters or tenants who are being sued maybe because they didn't upkeep their house, or maybe they're suing the owner of the place because they didn't upkeep the property either. All right, so that's what a lot of them, or maybe somebody wrecked and hit somebody else's car. Okay, and that's why. So it involves monetary disputes. But the response, the defendant, they can respond. They have to respond to this. Yes, I did do it. No, I didn't. All right. So basically, yeah, I did, and no, I didn't. All right. The pleading, plain answer. Okay. The pleading is basically they say, all right, it's the same thing as what the defendant said. Okay. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Now, discovery it's essentially just like in trial courts. The lawyers from both sides are investigating. They're gathering information at this point. Okay, the court case is not started, but they're trying to get as much information as they can on it. They can call witnesses, hear testimony. All right, and you have pre-trial hearing. Now, with the pre-trial, this is the way a lot of civil court cases go. There's a settlement involved. It never gets to an actual court. There's a settlement. So they may say, all right, if you give me $100, I'll drop the case, and we'll just say that's it. So that's what a settlement is. A lot of times they come to that because people want to avoid going to trial to court because that takes time away from their job or their family. All right, so that's what a settlement, and a lot of times that happens. Okay, a judge can order arbitration and mediation, which essentially that's like a third party. One, two, three. Third party coming in and deciding the case, all right, without it having to go to court. Now, again, here's the four options. Okay, so you have four options before the case actually starts in court. So you can settle, as I mentioned, all right, out of court. Arbitration and mediation are a lot similar. Okay, or the fourth one is the trial. All right. So I'm gonna have you write your own case here, in a little bit. As your assignment, and I want all of them to either be a settlement case or a trial case. All right. At the trial, the judge hears the case. Now, if you remember from those Bill of Rights, there is in a civil dispute involving more than $20, there is a right to a jury, but most of the time it's the judge that hears the case. Okay, it's not a jury is not typically involved in a civil trial. Evidence presented. Okay, the burden of proof is on the plaintiff. Now, a difference though is in a criminal case, the proof has to be guilt has to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. All right. This is not the case in a civil court. It doesn't have to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. All right. So the burden of proof is not as high in a civil case. All right. Remember, there are a few reasons because in a criminal case it's so high because there's prison time involved if you're found guilty, or even there could be a death penalty involved. All right. So in a civil case, it doesn't have to be proved to the extent it has to be proved in a criminal case. So at the end, all right, it's similar to a criminal trial. You have basically the plaintiff wins. So meaning that the plaintiff wins, the defendant loses, but the plaintiff gets their money. Right, a settlement's decided. So a lot of times you'll see if you watch Judge Judy, she slams her gavel down and they'll say, "Hey, you owe them $400." All right, and that's what the settlement is if the plaintiff wins. Now, if the defendant wins, all right, the defendant doesn't get money, but they don't have to pay the court costs or the legal fees. The plaintiff has to pay that. All right, so that's kind of the difference here in the sides. Both can appeal. All right, so with your assignment, the fairy tale case, I put this on Haiku. I also sent you guys an email, and I put it under activities, assignments on Haiku. So I'm thinking I covered all my bases with this. All right, just trying to have you guys complete it. Now, the 3 assignments are due Saturday. All right, so you can't say I'm a bad guy because I'm giving you plenty of time to do it. Also, I'm here making my own YouTube videos in the classroom for you. All right, you're welcome. But please, some of you have been emailing me about questions. All of these assignments, as well as the ones from last week, all right. Well, I'm pointing over my shoulder. Last week is behind us. The ones from last week are going on the 4th or 2nd, in this case, grading period for the end of the year. All right. So this will conclude my lecture in the Mr. Robinson lecture series involving civil court cases.